Hi, everyone. Thank you again for attending. I did have to change the link for the video. We had a few technical errors. However, we are back up and running, so hopefully you were able to find our post. I'm going to start sharing our screen. Again, thank you again for attending. This is the NAID broker registration training session brought to you from us here at Kentavi Realty Group and also BLB Resources. Thank you again. Bear with me. I'm just going to share my screen.
First off, let's start off with the important details. That's why we have a big warning sign right on the top of this page. Whether your NAID application is an add new, modify, add new NAID to existing EIN, or a recertification, attention to detail is important. It is pertinent that your application and supporting documentation match one another. Failure to complete the application in its entirety or submit the correct and accepted supporting documentation will result in a rejected application, thus delaying your application. And we all know when we want to register to sell HUD homes, we do want to do it as quickly as possible. So please make sure you pay very close attention to detail. The broker registered with HUD, which is in box 2C on the form, has to sign all of the sales contracts. HUD now allows more than one NAID per brokerage, allowing for additional brokers per company. Blanket authorization letters are no longer allowed. Like I briefly mentioned on the screen before, there are different types of an NAID application. In box 1, there's an add new, which is if you've never sold a HUD home before, you've never had a NAID number, you're going to check this box off. If you need to modify your existing NAID, this would be box 1B. Check this box if you already have an NAID and are making changes. This includes changing the principal broker, or I believe it also includes if you have to change your address. Box 1C is to add a new NAID to an existing EIN. Check this box if you have multiple branches. Box 8 must have the address of the main branch. The bank statement utility bill must match the address in box 10, and each branch will be given its own NAID number. Box 1D is for recertification. You do need to renew your NAID yearly, so NAID renewal with no changes to any information would be box 1D. I'm sure you're probably wondering, okay, so I am interested in getting my NAID, but where do I apply? How do I start the process? These sites right here, these links below, is the forms that you need to access. This is where you're going to want to start. And I'll make sure that I put them in the chat section on the right-hand side so you can access these easily. So you're going to complete Form 1111 and Form 1111A in its entirety in blue or black ink only. And then the second page of the Form 1111 is your documentation requirements. They made a nice chart here so you can see what exactly you need to provide based on your NAID requirements. So both the listing and selling brokers will use the SB payee type. So that's this column right here in red. This is the one that you're going to want to reference when you're filling out your application. If you are not a selling broker, please refer to the rest of the matrix listed below, and that will give you your requirements based on your payee type. When you are applying, NAID applications require 4 types of identification. The first identification you're going to need is your IRS documentation or social security card. This confirms that you are who you say you are. You'll also need a copy of your broker's ID, such as driver's license or passport or state ID. You also need a copy of your state real estate broker's license, and also a copy of the first page of a recent utility bill or bank statement. Let's start with Form 1111. What I'm going to do is I will leave this video posted to my YouTube channel. So that way, if you ever need to reference it, if you have questions, you can always go back and listen to it again and just go through the form. So let's start with box 2A. This is where you enter your EIN number as shown on the IRS document. Box 2B is where you enter your business name as shown on the IRS document. This must match exactly what it says on the first line of the IRS document, or the application will be rejected. Please be sure to not use your DBA here. That's very important information. Box 2C, enter your broker's name as shown on the broker's license. And in box 4, only enter a NAID if you already have an existing NAID and you are attempting to modify and or recertify. That would be boxes 1B or 1D only. Box 5 is where you enter in your HOC area identifier. For Massachusetts and Rhode Island, we're going to be area 3P, along with Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, and Vermont. Your payee type is your selling brokers are the most common payee type. So you're going to be SB. In box 7, enter your business phone number. In box 8, enter your business address. This must match the address provided with the utility bill in the NAID packet that you're going to be sending into HUD. And in box 9, only fill out this box for DBA, otherwise it is unnecessary. In box 10, only fill out this box if you want your mail delivered elsewhere. The address listed here will be displayed on HHS and where you will be listed as doing business. In box 11, 12, and 13, please make sure to check all that apply. Box 14, enter the contact person's name, email address, phone number, and fax number. In box 15, you're going to enter the owner of your company's name. And box 16, please check mark one box. Box 17 must be an original signature but does not need to be the broker. In box 18, 19, and 20, you enter the title, date, and phone number. Let's go over Form 1111. This is a form that you need to fill out in order to apply for your NAID number. So the first box is that you want to pay attention to is 2C, which is where you enter your broker's name as shown on the broker's license. Box 3A, you enter your social security number as shown on the social security card. Box 3B, enter name, which is the name that is printed on the social security card, last, first, and middle initial. Box 4, only enter an NAID if you already have an existing NAID and you are attempting to modify and or recertify, which is boxes 1B or 1D only. Box 5, which is where you enter in your HOC area identifier. For us, this would be 3P. 3P area is Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Box 6 is the payee type. We are SB, selling brokers. Box 7 is enter your business phone number. Box 8, enter your business address, which must match the address provided with the utility bill in the NAID packet that you send in. Box 9, only fill out this box for a DBA, otherwise it is unnecessary. Box 10, only fill out this box if you want your mail delivered elsewhere. The address listed here is what will be displayed on HHS and where you will be listed as doing business. Box 11, 12, and 13, please check mark all that apply. Box 14, enter contact person's name, email address, phone number, and fax number. Box 15 is the owner's name. Box 16, please check mark one box. Box 17 must be an original signature, but does not need to be the broker. In box 18, 19, and 20, enter the title, date, and phone number. Now on to the remittance name and address. So the information supplied in this section of the 1111 is going to display on HUDhomestore.com. So this is your office information, your contact information that you want to be advertised to the public. Fill out all the yellow highlighted sections. If it's left blank, it will be left blank on the website. Box 9 and 10 are only if the business name and address are different from what was filled out in boxes 2B and 8. The DBA in box 9 is displayed when Find a Broker is utilized. The address listed here is an additional address buyers are able to find you. If you have licenses in multiple states, you are able to list each license on your profile in HUDHomestore.com. You are only able to link your state license to one NAID, but agents can be linked to multiple NAIDs for each state issued license they have. Please email naidhelp@blbresources.com for more detailed instructions as to the specifics regarding address issues and/or complications. Okay, and the second form that we discussed is the Form 1111A. These instructions are the same for both EIN and SSN applications, so both tax ID and Social Security applications. The broker needs to sign and date both lines unless they check the box below. If checking the box, write in the local board. Then you're going to fill in broker's name, broker's license number. This must match your license, your telephone number, your tax ID, or Social Security as used on the 1111 in either box 2A or 3A. Your company's name and mailing address. Do not use DBA. If using a Social Security number, do not enter the company name, enter the address only. This document needs to be the original and copies are not accepted. Here's an example of the IRS documentation, Form 147C. You must include a copy of IRS documentation with your NAID application. It must be current within 2 years of submission, and only first line will be considered your business name. The second line will be your DBA per the IRS database. The DBA is displayed when Find a Broker on HUDHomestore.com is utilized. Call 1-800-829-0115 to obtain a copy of your 147C. I'll highlight that for you. Again, if you need a copy of your 147C, call 1-800-829-0115 to request a copy. Additional forms that are accepted are a letter, the IRS letter SS4, a tax coupon, or a pre-printed address label from IRS. Again, that's a pre-printed address label from IRS. Or if you're registering with your Social Security number for the broker, then you would just need a copy of your Social Security card. And we all know a copy of your identification would be a copy of your driver's license, and this must be included to verify your identity. A driver's license, passport, or state-issued ID are all acceptable forms of ID. The name on the ID must match the name of the broker's license, and the ID must be legible. A clear copy must be provided, including a picture. ID must be valid, and expired IDs are not acceptable. Number 3 is a copy of the state real estate broker's license. You must include a copy of the broker's license with the NAID application. The broker's license must state that it is a broker's license. No other license will be accepted. They will not accept a salesperson license. It needs to be a broker's license. The name on the broker's license must match. It must match the name that's listed on the driver's license, the name in box 2C or 3B, whichever is used, and also the Social Security card if supplied. Ensure the broker's license is not expired or expiring within 60 days of submission. Number 4 is a copy of the first page of a recent telephone bill, utility bill, or bank statement. The bill must be current, which is basically within a month of submission. You need to list the address of the company. I'll make sure it is listed on there. I apologize. The address must match box 8 or 10 of your application. And if box 1C has been marked on the 1111 form, please note that the address on the utility bill must be placed in box 10 on the 1111 form to show different branch address. Name on the bill must match box 2B, 2C, 3B, or 9 on form 1111. One of the great things I love about working with BLB is they're always there to help, and they offer an initial review of your NAID packages before you send it into HUD. So that way, if there are any mistakes, they try to catch it for you before you send it in to waste processing time. What you can do is email your NAID package to naidhelp@blbresources.com for review. Again, I would recommend doing this. You email your NAID package to naidhelp@blbresources.com for review. Then they will review and advise you of corrections needed in order to avoid rejection or delays. Once your package has been submitted, you will need to check HUDHomestore.com for status. It takes approximately 2 weeks for processing, and new payees do take longer. So again, the website is HUDHomestore.com. You're going to click NAID application. And then on the top of that screen, you'll see a little button that says check current NAID status. Once that opens up, you're going to enter in either your tax ID or your social security number, depending on how you filled out your application. Once an NAID is awarded, modified, recertified, please make sure that all brokers using this NAID know they must register on HUDHomestore.com. Each person should have their own personal login. Do not use someone else's. So your broker will get the NAID, and then the agents within the office will go to HUDHomestore.com and get their own login under their license. Information regarding HUD Home Store registration is provided in the Selling Broker Handbook, which can be found on the BLB Resources website. In conclusion, to ensure there is no question regarding anything in your package, these few notes are recommended. Fill out the entire application, even if you are only recertifying. Do not leave anything blank, no matter what the instructions say. If you are only modifying, check the recertification box, which is box 1D as well, as this will extend your NAID for the length of 1 year. Make sure that the 1111 and 1111A have original signatures. Signature stamps are not accepted. If you are a signatory to a voluntary affirmative marketing agreement between HUD and the local board, check the box listed below the signature and indicate the board name. The more recent the utility bill or bank statement, the better. For example, if it is October, submit a September statement or bill. And also, one thing I do recommend on a side note is if you use a calendar, many of our calendars are synced with our email address. If you have a tasking system, put it into renew yearly. Every year, a reminder to process your application, your renewal a few weeks or even a month or two in advance. So that way there's no lapse in your NAID number. Thank you again for attending. I appreciate you taking the time to learn about getting your NAID number. I hope that you're able to process your application quickly and start selling HUD homes. I do highly recommend it. And have an awesome day. Thank you again.